Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you about the top 10 cars and vehicles that you need to own and should buy in Grand Theft Auto Online in 2020. So this is a video I do every single year, and this is going to be an updated version for 2020, and we've actually got quite a few changes on the list. So let's go ahead and dive into this. At the number one spot today, you're going to need a really fast supercar. Now, I think your best choice for a really fast supercar would be one of two vehicles that came out in the Diamond Casino and Resort update. That would be the Benefactor Krieger or the Progen Emrys. As it currently stands right now, these vehicles are tied neck and neck at the top of the supercar class. So you honestly can't go wrong with either one. Now, why do you need a fast supercar? Well, number one, the majority of races you're going to do will feature supercars, and it's easiest to go from point A to point B in free roam with a lot of these vehicles. So you'll utilize them a lot in your day-to-day activities. You'll also use them in races, which is, of course, great for making money. So having an A-plus supercar that you can rely on in free roam and races is something you definitely need. Now, building off of that, I'd say the second most popular type of race is going to be sports cars. So you're going to need yourself an A-plus sports car. And again, I would say your two best options here are going to be the Italy GTO or the Pariah. Now, we've known about how awesome the Pariah is for a while, and it has gotten some recent pretty good competition, like the Vicer Neo, but I personally love the Italy GTO. It's one of my favorite looking sports cars in the game, and it's also probably the best performing sports car in the game. So honestly, you can't go wrong with either of those three options right there. A lot of that will come down to your personal preference of whether or not you like the physical aesthetics of the vehicle, whether or not you think it's a cool comparison to its real-life brand. But just like the supercars, you're going to need a really good sports car, and either of those would be good to go. Now, the third most popular race that you're going to do is the motorcycle class. So you're going to need a really quick motorcycle. And again, I'm going to give you a couple of choices here. I think that the Shitaro, which is the Tron bike, or the simple tried and true Bati 801 is what you should go with. Now, those are completely different bikes. The Shitaro is one of the most expensive in the game, very flashy, obviously glows in the dark with the Tron features. The Bati 801 is like $10,000, and you can customize that, and it's going to be one of the best bikes in the game. So that's the great thing about this. There's a lot of vehicles on here that, are great on a low budget. Some, if you have an unlimited amount of money, you can go for the most expensive of the bunch. It doesn't matter. But you're definitely going to need a really good motorcycle. Those are probably the top three race categories you're going to do: supercar, sports cars, and motorcycles. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's focus on some other vehicles. And this one is definitely controversial, but the Oppressor Mark II. What's that famous saying? If you can't beat them, join them. That's honestly how you have to react with the Oppressor Mark II. Not only is this vehicle incredibly powerful in P2P combat situations, but for me, what I really use it for is just incredibly easy navigation around the map. The fact that you can spawn it in right in front of you with your interaction menu, that's convenient. The fact that it can basically, hover over every object in the game. You can go over mountains and roads and bridges. You have full control of the vehicle because it's always hovering. It makes it very easy to get into tight spaces to and from and all the way across the map. So honestly, I would put the Oppressor Mark II on this list, even if it didn't have the missiles and the weaponized technology on there, just because of its incredible convenience going from point A to point B. Vehicle number 5 today is the Terabyte. So the Terabyte is a really cool vehicle with a ton of features. Number one, it's where you can store your Oppressor Mark II and your Oppressor if you want. It's also where you can do the Terabyte client jobs, which is incredibly useful for making money. These are not only some of the most fun missions in the game, but also some of the easiest and most effective at making money. Now, I'm not going to lie, the Terabyte has had some of its features knocked down a little bit. Like, for example, its drones are no longer all that rare because you can get drones inside of the arcade, which are actually a little bit better. But overall, it's still a really fun, effective vehicle that has a ton of features. So it's one that I would definitely recommend having. And again, you can call it in directly from the service menu. That's the great thing about the Terabyte is it's gotten upgraded over the years and as the updates have come out. making it easier to spawn in. Vehicle number 6 today, the Akula. The Akula is such an impressive helicopter, and it's versatile in a lot of ways. Number one, it can hold up to 4 players, which is nice. It's very quick, not necessarily as quick as like the Swift Deluxe, but still fast. But it's incredibly armored, it's weaponized, and it has the cloaking feature, which is incredible because if you're doing business stuff in a public session, if you're in that Akula and you turn on the cloaking feature, you're like off the radar for everyone, even if you have business goods. So I can't stress enough how incredibly valuable this vehicle is. I mean, we know how toxic Grand Theft Auto Online public lobbies are. So if you can hide from players that are trying to take you down, well, that's what you need. And this vehicle does exactly that. Now, the only problem with the Akula is it doesn't have a ton of versatility in terms of being called in. So for that, we move on to vehicle number 7, and that is the Buzzard. So where the Buzzard lacks in armor and weaponized and cloaking ability, it makes up for in convenience. The fact that you can basically spawn this in right in front of you as a CEO, or you can grab it from on top of your CEO office instantly, makes this vehicle incredibly valuable. It's also a little bit quicker than the Akula, so if you're in a private session, just looking to go from point A to point B, but still want to have a little bit of firepower to do things like take out NPCs and whatnot, then the Buzzard might be a little bit of a better bet than the Akula. But honestly, both are so useful. Both are really valuable. So if you can have both, definitely go for them. Now, moving on, at the number 8 spot today, the Avenger. I think the Avenger is still one of the coolest vehicles in the game. I think it's way better than the MOC. It's kind of like the flying version of the MOC. It gives you a lot of fun features, and it also gives you the ability to access the weapon workshop, which is going to be useful for getting to Mark II weapons because there's only so many places in the game that you can do that, and the Avenger is one of them. And aside from that, like the terabyte features we were talking about earlier, the fact that over the updates that online has received, it has gotten improvements in its menus and how you call it in and how some of its features work. So it's only gotten better over time since it was released in the Doomsday Heist. So definitely grab yourself an Avenger, one of my favorite vehicles, that's for sure. The number 9 spot today, the Stromberg. So the Stromberg is so cool because it's kind of one of a kind. It's half car, half submarine. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I really wish Rockstar would do more with the underwater aspect of the game. I mean, if you think about it, the world of GTA 5 is a giant island surrounded by water, but there really isn't a lot to do in that water. Well, the Stromberg allows you to explore those underwater areas quite nicely. Now, unfortunately, in online, there's not as many fun Easter eggs in single player, so I am hopeful that one day Rockstar will introduce some cool underwater modes or maybe do a full-fledged water-based Navy DLC, but at least for now it allows you to explore the depths of the ocean, and it's fun to just go from water to land in a seamless fashion, and it's based off of a James Bond car, which is kind of cool. And last but not least today, at the number 10 spot, you're going to need an armored vehicle. Now, there's so many armored vehicles that honestly it's going to be up to you, and my 4 personal favorite is the tried and true classic, the Armored Kuruma. You've then got the Duke of Death, which I also really like. You've got the ZR380 from Arena War, and the Paragon R from the Diamond Casino and Resort update. Now, all of these vehicles are going to have their pros and cons, some more expensive than others. In fact, the Armored Paragon R you actually get for free. Some will have weapons on them, others better with explosives, others better with bullets. That's where the choice is going to be up to you. But you're going to need an armored vehicle that you can trust and rely on, not only for free roam, but for heist setups, contact missions, basically anything and everything you do where you just don't want to deal with NPCs or other players. You're going to want to have a good armored vehicle. So honestly, that choice is up to you, but you have to have one at least at a minimum. But anyways, that right there is the top 10 vehicles that you need to buy and should own in Grand Theft Auto Online here in 2020. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Which vehicles did you think should be added to our list, should be taken away? Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.